welcome to First and Filoni. This is our week 6 episode. This week we do have a special guest, Miss Libby Rhodes here, along with Andrew Cooper. Two NC State lifers. Rough loss last weekend. Wanted to give you guys the initial floor to give your thoughts. If you want to fire Dave Doran, if you want to.
I'm just glad we're starting MJ.
As soon as he was started, Andrew shot me a text. He goes, "MJ starting. I'm back on."
You can't even finish your sentence without MJ.
Yeah. So it was rough, man. Like the sad thing was, like, NC State looked like they were gonna win the entire game until that 5 minutes left in the fourth, and then it just.
Oh, I know.
It was something else, but. We move on. Well, no, before we move on, is Dave on the hot seat? Would you guys put him on the hot seat right now at 3-2?
No.
No,
He signed that big extension. NC State
yeah,
ain't got the money to pay nobody, so they're gonna suck it up. They're not gonna be able to pay him out.
Well, if you want a new offensive coordinator, I know Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to get rid of one, so you guys can bring
it ain't gonna be no
have a homecoming.
Gonna be no damn Matt Canada coming back. Hell if he is.
You can have a homecoming back here with him. All right, cool. Well, now that we got that out of the way here, I wanted to go, since we are 5 weeks into the season, not including week 0. I want to go over just give some updated college football predictions. Just as a reminder, who we picked at the beginning of the year, I had Georgia versus Michigan, Texas versus Penn State, with Tennessee and Notre Dame on the outside. I think that can still happen outside of Tennessee. And then Andrew had Georgia versus USC, Michigan versus Alabama, and with Oregon and Florida State on the outside. Honestly, that one can happen too. But in my opinion, I think there's about 10 to 14 teams that could potentially make the college football playoff and win it. I think this is our most wide open year that we've had since 2007. But I did change mine up a little bit based on the college football predictions here for my top 6. So do you want me to start it off, or you want to go first?
Who are you talking to?
Either one of you.
I don't want to go first.
Okay, I will go first. At number 1, I have Texas. To me, they have been the best team so far. I don't think they're gonna lose going forward. At 2, I got Penn State. I think they've looked amazing so far. Drew Aller is what we thought. That defense is nasty. The 2 running backs are great. At 3, I have Oregon. They looked the best out of the Pac-12. Michael Penix did not look good last week. Washington did not look good last week. At 4, I got Ohio State. I think they have the best win of the season so far at Notre Dame. And then on the outside looking in, I have either Georgia or Alabama, because I think that's the SEC championship game. And then Notre Dame or Washington. I think those two are up there as well. I think Notre Dame only loses one game this season, and they've already lost it. So just to recap, I have Texas versus Ohio State, Penn State versus Oregon in my playoff.
All right, I'm gonna keep mine. I'm gonna boot, I think, one team out.
Okay.
Well, honestly, this is tough because I kind of want to stay with UGA. I'm gonna go Georgia 1, Texas 2, Michigan 3, and I will do. Hate to do it, but I reckon I'm going to put Ohio State at 4, and I'm going to have Oregon and Notre Dame looking in.
That very well can happen. So you don't even have Penn State in there. You think
No,
Penn
I
State
think
loses?
unfortunately, yeah, I think unfortunately they're going to have a loss or two. Something's going to happen. Just knowing James Franklin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can see that as well. Um, I'll let Libby go ahead and give her picks, and then I kind of have a hot take as well. And I want to throw out another prediction for you guys, which I kind of already did. Um, Actually, no, mine. If you look at mine, there's no SEC team in my college football playoff. I have Texas, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State. And I firmly believe that the SEC is down this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is no SEC representative. So I'll get your guys' take on that. Um, but Libby, do you have a college football playoff prediction?
Sure. I'll be honest, did do a lot of research. Didn't watch any games last weekend. So we're going off of this. I got Georgia, and then Michigan, and then Texas, and Washington, number 4. And then on the out, I have Ohio State and Oregon, maybe.
I mean, I think that's very, very reasonable as well. And I to be honest, with both of your guys' list, there's no gripes with it because, like I said, I think there's 11 teams. I think it's Oregon, Alabama, USC, Washington, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida State. Nobody mentioned Florida State. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Mm,
Notre
say
Dame,
USC.
Notre Dame,
Notre
yeah,
Dame.
Notre Dame. That's 12 teams right there that I just listed off that I feel like.
But here's the thing with me, though. I kind of wanted to stop you at USC. Let's say they do go 11, 12, and 0, and they play. I just can't justify the committee putting them in when they have a defense that, you know what I mean?
Well, the only way I justify it is because of Caleb Williams, and he gets his second Heisman because he's playing lights off, and it's or lights out, and it's almost criminal how bad that defense is with how well he is playing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, wouldn't that see to me that'd be an embarrassment? Let's say they got in at 4, okay, and let's
Yeah.
say they had to play an Ohio State at the 1 seed and they get blown the hell out the water. I mean, that's
Right,
just a
because
waste
Ohio
of a
State
game.
has a defense. Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Texas, any of them, right? I mean, that's a great point. I don't think they make it. I think the Pac-12, to be honest with you, if they don't if Oregon or Washington does not come out like unscathed, like one of them will have a loss because they play each other. But they could very well cannibalize themselves because Utah's defense is nasty. Washington State, nobody's talking about, and they're great. Oregon State, I'm still very high on. UCLA, give them another year with DJ Moore, or not DJ Moore, the Moore kid. I can't think of his first name. The freshman quarterback, he's a stud. You know, I think Colorado still can wreck some people's days. Um, I just think it's wide open, man. Like in I don't know. I just think it's wide open. So
I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, I think the
Okay.
Pac-12 honestly is the most wide open conference
Oh, for
in
sure.
college football.
yeah. Okay, well let's go ahead and give a quick recap of week 3 and then we'll go ahead and get into our picks here. For the game of the week, I have 2 of them. I'll go ahead and knock out the obvious one. LSU versus Ole Miss. That game was electric. And if you're a casual football fan and if you don't like college football and you didn't watch that game, like I don't understand why you're not watching college football because that was a game. LSU has a very, very, very bad defense. Daniels for LSU, I'll say something good about LSU. He stepped it up this year, and their defense is just god awful. Jackson Dart looked amazing.
Typical Brian Kelly
Yeah,
offense with no defense.
yeah. Jackson Dart looked amazing. Lane Kiffin finally gets his big win. It was just a really, really, really good game. And then the second one I have is USC and
Yeah, but
Colorado.
we'll say this on that note. I think Ole Miss had a record for most attendance at that game, so that goes to show you home field advantage also helps you dearly.
Which is weird to
Yeah.
say because even under Lane Kiffin, Old Miss typically does not have good attendance. So
Yeah, I can't figure that one out.
yeah, I don't know either. And then the second one is USC at Colorado or versus Colorado. I was watching a game. USC looked like they had it in the bag, and then Shador just went off, man. And
Dude,
it's
just go
just
ahead and move in with Dion.
I love Dion, man. That's fine. That's fine. I hope Billy Napier does bad this year and he does bad next year, and then Florida just backs up the Brinks truck to bring Dion to the Florida Gators in 2 years. And then you best believe I'm going to get prime everything. There'll be new backgrounds. We'll change the first and Filoni colors from red and white to orange and blue. Like we'll go all out.
I will not be a part of the show then.
Nope.
All right. Well, what are your guys' game of the weeks?
Well, Libby can go first.
I had a LSU Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I caught a little bit of the last quarter of that game.
And no one else is talking about it, but the Notre Dame Duke game was actually
I was
really good
I was
too.
just getting ready to say that game too.
That's who my pick is.
Good.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Andrew. You want to go ahead and talk about it. Get on your pedestal, man.
Yeah, yeah. Game of the week. Duke and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Mike Elko's got it going on. If Duke can keep him down there, they
They
will be winning the ACC. I know they won't, unfortunately,
gone.
but
I thought Elko
Yeah.
was going to have his revenge against Notre Dame, man. And then Estime just Hartman didn't look good all game. Granted, Duke's defense is top 5 in the nation, I think. And then Estime just he's a man amongst boys. He is a big dude.
yeah, I can tell you, man, I felt the worst for Riley Leonard though.
Oh yeah, I feel so bad for him.
He looks like he might be out for a couple weeks, but I think the defense still can carry him. Like I don't want to discount Duke now because that defense is legit.
I don't mean no harm, but hopefully ankle doesn't heal by the state game.
When's that? 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
He might be back.
Yeah.
He's a gamer, man. He's a gamer. Okay, so who do you got for player of the week? Andrew, go ahead.
Player of the week, I had Ray Davis, running back out of Kentucky. He had 26 carries for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He had like 200
Florida
That's
yards.
exactly who I have, Andrew.
So if you guys watch that game, that first drive Kentucky had, they had him tackled in the backfield every single run, but did not wrap up. It was bad.
Stats are stats, baby.
It was bad. It was really, really, really bad.
Yeah, I think Devin Leary was 9 of 13 for 95 yards.
Yeah, he's not done well. They're so hit and miss, man, because I don't know how you can go from looking as good as you get against Tennessee to looking as dog shit as you've been against Utah and Kentucky. Like maybe it's just home versus
I will
away,
put it to you this way. You will not have to worry about me picking them no more, along with UNC from my original statement of the year.
All right,
So
so
they just
you
made the
had
list.
Ray Davis as well as your player of the week. Did you guys have any more?
No, I didn't.
I could be really rude and say Mr. Jack Plummer, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna say
Dude, he sucked.
I'm gonna say Jackson Dart. He actually stepped up, and I think not that he wasn't gonna lose his starting job, but he looked really, really good. And then I had Ray Davis as well, but the other one was Audric Estime. Like he's so nasty, and I really want the Steelers to draft him. Like I really like him. He has the most 20+ yard rushes in the NCAA, so he's so good. Winners of the week.
The Steelers to draft him, so Canada can ruin that.
Well, Canada hopefully will be fired by the bye week. Winners of the week. Libby, who are your winners of the week?
Don't make me go first.
Okay.
I already said I didn't watch none.
Andrew, who are your winners of the week?
So I had three winners.
Yep, me
Even though
too.
this team, even though this team lost, I thought they played their ass off against a really good Georgia team. But I have Auburn. I think it just goes to
Yeah.
show that Hugh Freeze is making an impact quick. I think once he can get a quarterback established that is used to his system and how he wants things ran as far as the play calling,
Yep.
I think you watch out because it's going to be good. I got
Just to
Mizzou and
piggy
Notre
off of
Dame
that real
as my
quick,
winners.
give it to Auburn's fans for showing up, man. That place is tough to play at. All right, you said Mizzou?
Yep, I had Mizzou. They still are continuing to shock the world with Eli at the helm, and I also had Notre Dame. Even though Hartman still hasn't had two good weeks back to back, man, between the defense and the running game, just the offensive line, manpower, and everybody, it's hard to take them off of the winning train.
Just to defend Hartman there as well. Like Ohio State's defense and Duke's defense are two top 10 defenses. So, I mean, I think he's doing fine. He's still better than anybody else Notre Dame's put out in a long time,
Oh yeah,
but you're right, that defense is nasty. I had Kentucky. I think they're winning the battle of the trenches each game, and that running attack with Ray Davis is nasty. Devin Leary, if he actually plays up to his potential, they're good. But they're gonna get their butts kicked this weekend. Notre Dame, I had as well, big win against the Duke team. Not gonna, everything you said, Andrew, just not gonna reiterate that. And then the final winner of the week, and it didn't even come until Monday or Tuesday when it was announced, but NC State fans putting out wanted posters, missing persons posters for MJ Morris, and now they get their wish. They actually have a decent quarterback coming in. Even though he's young, I think he's the better option. So I have NC State fans as the winners. So you guys are welcome. I'm being nice.
I'll take that. Winner.
congratulations, you made the right pick.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the losers of the week, and I'm gonna go off a little tirade here. Two coaches and one team. Brian Kelly and Billy Napier. I don't know what they're doing. Brian Kelly's seat has to be blazing hot right now. LSU's known for a good defense, and they have none this week. 55 points to Ole Miss. And then Billy Napier, like he's not producing right now. Like he's supposed to be an offensive coach, and they're not scoring a lot of points. So I think they're both on the hot seat. I think Brian Kelly more so. And then the final loser is TCU. My West Virginia boys, I keep picking, man. They're a sneaky good team. Everything bad I said about Neil Brown at the beginning of the season, I take back. He's put that team together. TCU is no luck this season, and it just shows how lucky they were last season. They're not a good team, and they just had ball luck last year. Well, those are my losers of the week. Who do you guys got?
I had Florida, LSU, and Utah.
Yeah, Utah's just missing that quarterback, man.
I know, but they still lost, and it just how you play so good against Florida the first week, and then it's like back to back weeks. It just
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, the defense isn't the problem, right? It's just the offense. I think they have something with that freshman quarterback, but he just can't throw the ball right now. He's fast, but he can't throw the ball, so they know he's running it every single time. So, Libby, do you have any losers this week?
Dave Doran and Brennan Armstrong.
There it
And
is.
Robert.
There it is. There it is.
I was waiting for it.
Yep. Okay, cool. So those are our
So let me ask you. So what do you think about this? If you're Brennan Armstrong, how do you feel right now, Donovan?
Terrible.
I mean, he's got to feel bad, but if he's a team player, I would take this opportunity to kind of learn all about the coaching staff because he's not going to the NFL. Learn how to become a coach. Be that support for the young guys. You
My
can't
biggest
as a grad transfer.
my biggest fear with this was Red shirt and MJ. I saw it and I agreed with it at first, but I didn't think Doran would make the move only because you bring in a graduate transfer and you make him a captain. You're pretty
Right.
much in bed with him. You know what I mean? You're stuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
So
I'm
I'm
wondering if
really,
his seat is hot. That's why I asked you guys if you guys think his seat is hot because he did that.
I mean, it could be, but I know the fans and the media have been on Dave's ass last couple of weeks about wanting to know where MJ was and what they thought. But I don't know. Doran just has excuse after excuse after excuse,
It's the
and after
same
a
one.
while, yeah, after a while, I mean, it just gets old.
It doesn't help that you don't have an offensive line either. But
No, that's my other fear with MJ too is the line and everybody has to start stepping up because if he goes down, you're back to square one and the season is shot. I mean,
right.
hopefully MJ can come in and revive the season, play with a little bit of spark, which is what I will hope for. But until they can get the offensive line going and the receivers catching the ball and the running game going, I still think it's going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know, man. Anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and get into our picks. Last week I was 6-4, you were 8-2, so you have taken the lead. You are 39-16, I'm 38-17. My locks actually went 8-2 last
Wait,
week.
y'all want to know what I went?
Yeah, what you got?
I went 8-2 last week, but my overall's pretty sucky, 35-20.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. You still have a winning record. My locks of the week, I am at 32-23. I had a really good week last week for locks. Really wish mobile sports betting was in Florida, but soon enough. Anyways, we got 10 more games this week, and I think the weeks keep getting better and better, and more parity makes for better and better weeks. So let's go ahead and just get it started. Let's start with where game day is going to be at the Red River Shootout. Oklahoma versus Texas. If you remember last year, Texas put up a 50 burger on them. Texas is favored by 6.5. I'm a firm believer in Texas. I think Oklahoma just hasn't played anybody. I think Texas wins by 20 or 30.
Bold statement, Cotton. I'm sticking with you.
I've got Texas.
Yeah, that scares me that we all three pick them. But okay, let's kind of keep it moving here as well. Maryland at Ohio State. I think this one's very tricky. Ohio State's favored by 20. It's in Columbus. Maryland is sneakily 5-0, and they look pretty good. We'll go ahead and start with you, Andrew. Who you got?
I got Ohio State, man. I think after that win against Notre Dame, Ohio State had the bye week last week. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they healed up and got more relaxed, and they're still main focus. I still want to see McCord come out and have the same energy he did against Notre Dame, prove that he can throw the ball under pressure. But Maryland, I just don't think has really played the talent level that they're getting ready to see. So
Right.
I picked Ohio State.
Who you got, Libby?
I've got Ohio State. I just don't think Maryland's defense is all that
Yeah,
great.
I have Ohio State as well, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think it's maybe a touchdown game till the fourth quarter, and then Ohio State pulls away. LSU at Mizzou. LSU is favored by 5.5 points. Libby, who do you got?
I got LSU.
Ooh. Andrew? Or you want me to go?
Must be a reason why we're related. I got LSU.
Ooh, I'm picking against you guys. I'm going Mizzou. I think Trey Burton III just torches that defense. I think he goes for 300 plus yards in receiving. So I've got Mizzou. You guys got LSU. First upset for me to pick. That's not a good sign. Okay, Washington State at UCLA. UCLA is favored by 3. I'll go ahead and I don't think Washington State's losing. I think Cam Ward's going to be too much for that UCLA offense to keep up with. Washington State's defense is sneaky good. If it was in Washington State, I feel more comfortable about it, but I'm going Washington State.
Yeah, I've
Give me
also
the
got
Cougars,
Washington
baby.
State.
All 3 Washington States. All right. Next game here we have, and this one was the toughest one for me to pick, to be honest with you. Bama at Texas
what?
A&M. Bama's favored by 1.5. They looked a lot better last week. Granted, it was against Mississippi State. And Texas A&M continues to roll even with Max Johnson at quarterback. He's a lefty. Didn't realize that until the game started. His brother's on the team as well at tight end, which is kind of cool. Who you guys got? I know who I'm going with, but I want to see who you got. Hopefully, I'm not changing, but I don't think
I got Bama.
I got Bama. I don't think Jimbo beats Saban.
Yeah, I wanted to pick A&M. If Connor Wegman was playing, I would have picked A&M, but I have Bama as well. This is the type of game Jimbo loses. He's got all the hype in the world and all the momentum in the world. Jimbo's going to lose this game. Next game here, Syracuse at UNC. UNC is favored by 8 points. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm going UNC. Syracuse disappointed me last week. Clemson beat the brakes off of them. So I think Syracuse, remember last year, started undefeated and then lost 5 in a row. I think this is where they start losing. UNC over Syracuse.
Andrew?
Are you guys going to say it, or am I going to
You
put
can go ahead.
Syracuse
You
here?
you can go ahead and chalk me up for a loss. I got Dino Baber and the boys.
You see, this one was really tough for me. No, I'm just kidding. I got Syracuse.
Oof. And you know what? It could be a bounce back game. But I don't know for sure. Okay. UCF at Kansas. Kansas is favored by 2. Not sure if Daniels is playing. Bean, he's really fast, but he's not accurate.
I read somewhere that he was day to day.
Is he day to day? So he might be playing. I think he's electric, and he's a key factor. I have Kansas still winning it. I trust Bean. UCF has just lost too many close games, but I'm going to go with the home team when I'm still unsure as a pick 'em.
I went with Kansas also.
This is a really tough one for me. Something deep down inside says I need to pick Gus Malzahn.
This is a tough game. He loses, man.
Yeah, but the other thing with me was Jalen Daniels still playing, or was he going to play? Because now that she said that he's day to day, I think I'm going to roll with Kansas on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bean, I do, but he's a running quarterback more so than anything. He's so fast. He's insanely fast. I think he's a track star at Kansas actually. But yeah, I think if Daniels plays, I don't think it's particularly close. But UCF has played really well in the Big 12 for the most part. They've had a couple bad losses, but they've looked good as well. So it would depend on which UCF. If it was at UCF, I'd go UCF all day. Kentucky at Georgia, battle of the undefeateds. Georgia's favored by 15 points. Georgia doesn't lose at home, and they're not going to lose at home this week. They'll have to beat Georgia in the air, and I don't think Devin Leary can do it. He has not been the same since his injury. And I could be eating my words.
No, you really ain't. I got the dogs. I think this is going to be the welcome to the SEC Devin Leary show with that defense Georgia's got, and I think Georgia shuts down Ray Davis.
Yeah. I've got Georgia too.
All right, 2 more games here. We have Arkansas at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 11 points. Did they have too much? Did they put in too much last week? Do they lose to Arkansas this week?
No way. I think Jackson Dart and the boys keep rolling. Give me Ole Miss. Hotty toddy.
Ole Miss as well, Libby?
Yep.
Yeah, I do as well. I think Ole Miss finally is in a groove. I think Lane Kiffin finally has a team that he likes. And then the final game, we have Notre Dame at undefeated Louisville. Notre Dame is favored by 6.5. I have Notre Dame, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think Notre Dame wins big.
Me
Yep,
too. I've got
give
Notre
me-
Dame.
Give me the Irish as well.
All right, so the only game that we're different on is the Mizzou LSU game and UNC Syracuse, I should say. I really want to change my pick to Texas A&M, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it. Okay, so I got normally 10 locks. I have 15 this week. So I'll run through them really quick, and you guys tell me if you agree or disagree with them. I have Kansas State at Oklahoma State. I think Kansas State wins by more than 12 points. I have Oklahoma at Texas. Texas wins by more than 6.5, and the over will be over 60.5. I think that it's going to be a huge shootout. Vandy at Florida. Florida's favored by 18.5. I think Vandy keeps it close. So Vandy plus 18.5. Notre Dame at Louisville. I say under 54. I don't think Louisville will score. I think Notre Dame shuts them out this week. Maryland at Ohio State. I have Maryland plus 20. I think they keep it within 2 touchdowns, but that's about it. Maybe 17. LSU at Mizzou. I have Mizzou plus 5.5. Since I'm picking them outright, might as well go for that as well. Give me the points. Marshall at NC State. I have NC State winning by more than 6.5 points. This would have gone the other way if Brendan Armstrong was playing.
You sure about that?
Yep. MJ's playing. I think it's a resurgence. I think they win big. Washington State at UCLA. I have Washington State plus 3. Since I'm picking them outright, give me the points as well. UCF at Kansas over 60 points. I think there's zero defense in this game. I could see it being a 40-40 or 40-50 game. Colorado at Arizona State. Colorado is favored by 4 points. I think they win by 10 or more. Arkansas at Ole Miss. You didn't get your Dion comment in there, by the way. Arkansas at Ole Miss. Over 63.5 points. I think Lane Kiffin just pours it on. He can't take his foot off the pedal. If he does, he's going to lose momentum. Fresno State at Wyoming. I have Wyoming plus 6. Just seeing what they've done at home, I like Wyoming, even though Fresno State's undefeated. Michigan at Minnesota. Michigan's favored by 19 points. I think they win by 3 touchdowns or more like they've done all season. Their defense is really, really good. Nebraska at Illinois' final game. Under 43 points. They both suck, and they both have bad offenses. So that's who I have for my locks of the week. Do you guys disagree or change anything besides the NC State game?
Nope, I agree.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go with the upsets of the week. I have 2 of them, and I don't think they're going to lose, but I want to put them on alert. Kentucky at Georgia minus 15. If Georgia keeps it close again, Kentucky's just going to run the ball. And then Maryland at Oklahoma or at Ohio State. Something's just telling me Maryland is going to upset somebody's season this year. It's 20 points, so like those are 2 really, really long shot upsets, but I couldn't really find any other, touchdown or more upsets that I really liked. West Virginia has a bye week, or I'd pick them again.
Yep, I got 2. I got Wyoming upsetting Fresno State.
Yep.
And I have UConn getting their first win over Rice.
What's rule number 1, Andrew? You don't lose to food.
Well.
You don't lose to food.
I think the Huskies are going to eat.
They need to, because they've looked awful this year.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out, man. They played really well last year.
Yeah, they just have not looked good. All right, Libby, do you have any upsets of the week?
I'm looking.
Yeah, Marshall over NC State.
That'd be a bad one to pick.
Y'all are gonna. I'm telling you, that game, MJ's gonna He gonna score.
Donovan, you haven't been there.
Yeah. It's been what, 6 years since I've been to a game there?
I don't know.
But you ain't missed nothing.
The last one was
I don't think
Hurricane
I do.
Matthew.
I don't think I have any upsets. I don't know.
Okay. All right, no worries, no worries. And then player of the week. I have a couple, so I'll let you guys go first. Andrew, who you got?
Give me MJ Morris and the boys.
My man. I'm convincing them, Libby.
And I'm also think I'm going to pick along with him. Man, you can't go against Audric Estime.
You've
think
picked
he's
him a
just gonna
couple
have another.
times this year. He's a pick, man. He's good.
I
He's your
did,
pick
yeah.
this
I
year.
know. I know. I got to keep rolling with him. He ain't upset me, so
He's a big dude, man. He's
I'm glad I don't have to tackle him.
yeah. I have a headache even just
Huh?
thinking about it.
Mhm.
Okay. Libby, who do you have as player of the week this week? Or to look out for?
What to look out for? Estime.
Come on, you can say it. It's
I don't want to say
MJ. Look at her. No.
I'll go MJ, but if I gotta pick state, I gotta go Peyton. He's
Yeah,
Yeah.
killing it.
Peyton Wilson. Yeah, he's having a really good year. Okay. So there's two buckets. The one that I'm for sure about is Trey Burton the third. I already told you for Mizzou, the wide receiver. He's so fast, and I don't think anybody in LSU can cover him. They're gonna have to double him to stop him. And then the next one is kind of like a two-parter, and because they're playing against each other. One is Carson Beck, and then the other two are Ray Davis and Devin Leary. Whoever has the better game will win this game. Because if Carson Beck, everybody's down on Georgia. I'm down on Georgia this year, but he has better stats than Stetson Bennett through week 5 of last year when Stetson Bennett was being considered for the Heisman. I don't think Georgia's as good, but I still think they're a top tier team. So if Carson Beck has a good game, I'll be right back on with Georgia. Ray Davis, he just has really impressed me last week, and then looking up at some of his other games, he's done well. And then Devin Leary has to step up. He was my number 1 transfer quarterback this year, just because I've seen what he did at NC State, and he's not looked the same since the injury. So that's who I have for this week. I had a feeling Andrew was going to go Estime again, so I didn't want to pick him and kind of reiterate that. All right, well, that's the episode for this week. A little bit shorter of one this week. Kind of ran through it. Thank you, Libby, for joining us. More than welcome anytime.
I'll do my homework next time.
So
I won't go to the wine festival.
there you go. Thank you
Good
guys
for you.
for listening as well. We really do appreciate it. Continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribing helps. That's great. We want to kind of double our views each year, and so far we've done so since we've been on different platforms. So continue to share, man, and be a friend and tell a friend. All right, we'll see you next week.